Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to do a comparison video of two Tissot PRX chronograph homages, the BAOGELA 22803 and the Pagani design PD1761. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing a Pagani design PD1728 homage to a 5711 Nautilus, and Grogo's wearing a Parnsopri homage to 5711 Nautilus. Grogo said Han Solo left the Mos Eisley Cantina early because Black Kirstone Tan was there and things were getting tense. He said the Wookiee named Black is ready to crack as he raises his hands to the sky, and the Gond in the corner is everyone's mourner. He could kill you with a wink of his eye. Alright, let's take a look at the watches. The purpose of this comparison video isn't to determine a winner, because the price of the two are too different for that to really be an issue. It's just to show you the two different ones, because they're very similar, and to see which one you might prefer. Alright, the Pagani design comes in a Pagani design box, obviously. And the BAOGELA has been coming in boxes like this. So here they are. As you can see, they're pretty similar looking. They're at least the dimensions seem pretty similar. Alright, let's start the comparison. Let's start with the price. The BAOGELA on the left here is $48.91 the last time I looked on AliExpress. And the Pagani design is $79.99 last time I looked. So as you can see, there's quite a bit price difference, almost a little bit over $30. Of course, this does not include coupons and discounts, etc. Then, as you can see, the dimensions are fairly similar. One thing I did notice, though, is the BAOGELA is about 1 millimeter thinner. And also, when it comes to the weight, the BAOGELA is 125 grams and the Pagani design is 137. So there's quite a bit of weight difference. More steel, more weight. That's just the reality of it. Then when you look at the bezel, the brush top on the Pagani design is a lot wider than on the BAOGELA. Then when you look at the dials too, the BAOGELA dial seems to be a little bit more silvery than the Pagani design, which is a lot more whiter. Then the indices and the hands on the BAOGELA have a gold tone, and the Pagani design does not. When you look at the actual Tissot PRX chronograph with the silver dial, it does have gold indices and hands, or at least gold tone anyway. So the BAOGELA looks a little bit more like the Tissot. Then when you look at the subdials too, the Pagani design, the subdials have a pretty good sunburst effect on them. Plus they seem to go in a little bit, where the BAOGELA, the subdials seem to have a sunburst on the very edge, but the middle seem to stick up, and they're more flat. And also the biggest difference on the subdials is on the BAOGELA, the bottom subdial is the chronograph second hand, and the Pagani design, the bottom subdial is the running second hand. Then also, the BAOGELA has a date and the Pagani design does not. The Tissot that it is homaging does have a date. So I don't know why the Pagani design did not have a date, especially since the movement has a date. That was one of my gripes and groans of the Pagani design when I reviewed it. Then the crowns, the Pagani design actually has a screw down crown and 100 meters of water resistance. The BAOGELA, on the other hand, has a push-pull and only 50 meters of water resistance. Now, both of them, though, have pushers like this that cannot be locked. So the one thing you do not want to do with a chronograph in the water is push the pushers, because of the way the seals work. You will let water in. So that's why most water-resistant chronographs have screw-down pushers. But because of the shape of them, that's not possible. So for that very same reason, I do not suggest swimming with either one of these, because if you accidentally push the pushers, you could ruin the watch. Then the crystals, the Pagani design has a flat sapphire, and the BAOGELA though is mineral glass. And even though sapphire reflects more than glass, there really doesn't seem to be much of a difference there. So I don't know if they have some AR coating here or if it's just a design, but it's a good crystal. Then once again, the cases are fairly similar. They're both brushed on the sides, both have a chamfered edge here. And the biggest difference though is the BAOGELA is a hair thinner. And also, due to the case back though, part of the thinness is the case back and not the case, but the case is thinner. Let's look at the case backs. The Pagani design has a screw down case back, and the BAOGELA has a press on. And once again though, you only get 50 meters of water resistance, and this one you get 100. Then also, the Pagani design, the case back just looks a little bit nicer. It has the name and the logo and the frosting there, and then the pretty good writing here. Not that the BAOGELA is a horrible case back, it's just not the same. Now let's talk about movements. The BAOGELA has a VD53 movement, which is a quartz movement with the course. Like I said, the chronograph hand is the small seconds and not the large seconds. I've never been a fan of the VD53 because of that very same reason. I just prefer chronographs to have the large second hand be the chronograph hand. Then the Pagani design has the VK63, which is a mecha quartz. And the cool thing about the mecha quartz is you get the smooth sweeping second hand that ticks 5 times a second. And also you get the instant snapback. Being PRX homages, they both have the integrated bracelets, but if you just look at the two side by side, the Pagani design is just nicer, has nicer brushwork, has better edges. It's just a better bracelet. Feels nicer too. They both have push pins, not screw pins. And they're similarly sized. So getting the fit is about the same. Now this one though, I removed 3 links. And this one, I didn't have to remove any links, but it came with 2 extra. So I guess this one will fit a bigger wrist because you can put 3 more links in. This one I can only put 2 in. But due to the similar size, you could probably get links that would fit these. Then when it comes to the clasp, they're both butterfly push button. The Pagani design though is signed on the links. The BAOGELA is not. As far as the clicks and everything going together, they feel similar. They don't seem loose and floppy. It's just, once again, the Pagani design bracelet and clasp just look a little bit nicer. Here's the BAOGELA on my 7.5-inch wrist. It's a nice looking watch. Not bad at all for $50. And here's the Pagani design on my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice too. I just wish it had a date on it. Plus I wish it had gold accent so it looked more like the Tissot. But it is a sharp looking watch. Here we are in the loom room. We're going to do it side by side. When I did the reviews, the Pagani design had some pretty bad loom, especially hand loom. Where the BAOGELA had really good hand loom, just really bad index loom. So let's see what they do side by side. As we speed up the time, the Pagani design actually has a little bit better index loom, but when it comes to hand loom, it's not even close. The BAOGELA just smokes the Pagani design. This isn't. There's no comparison. The BAOGELA wins easily. Well, we have these two watches here. I did a comparison, and the Pagani design definitely has a better case, crystal, bracelet, and movement, but is it worth an extra $30 to you? Especially when the BAOGELA looks a lot like the Tissot. Well, I'll leave that up to you. Thank you for watching my comparison video, and I will be back with another review. More than likely that Pagani design Nautilus homage I'm wearing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.